Some movies are so riddled with cliches, over-the-top performances, and ridiculous plots that they transcend their flaws and become downright lovable. These films might not win any Oscars, but they have a special place in our hearts for their sheer entertainment value. Here are 10 so bad it's good films you can't help but love. Velocipastor. This film takes the cake for having one of the most absurd premises ever. Velocipastor follows a priest who, after a tragic event, travels to China and becomes cursed with the ability to turn into a dinosaur. Yes, you read that right, a dinosaur. He uses his newfound powers to fight ninjas. Because why not? The film is full of ridiculous dialogue, cheesy effects, and a plot that makes as much sense as its title. But it's precisely these reasons that make Velocipastor such a joy to watch. Its embrace of its absurdity makes it an endearing entry into the so bad it's good genre.
Last night was amazing.
What are you talking about?
The time you turned into a dinosaur and ate someone.
Why?
Samurai Cop is a film that wants to be a gripping cop drama, but ends up feeling more like an unusual comedy. The plot follows Joe Marshall, an officer of the law who supposedly is trained by the masters of Japan in the ways of the samurai. Paired with his partner Frank Washington, they aim to take down the ruthless Yakuza. The film features countless continuity errors, hilariously awkward dialogue, and fight scenes that make you question if Joe Marshall ever saw a samurai sword before.
Have you been circumcised?
Yeah, I have. Why?
Well, your doctor must have cut a big portion of it off.
I want his head on this piano so that every man in my organization understands once more that no katana gets captured alive or talks. Got that?
Imagine a film that mixes The Birds with an environmental message and a sprinkling of romance, but made on a shoestring budget. That's Birdemic shock and terror for you. The story revolves around a software salesman and a fashion model who band together to survive an attack by killer birds. The birds don't just peck. They explode, spit acid, and dive bomb into gas stations, causing massive explosions. Despite the stilted dialogue, wooden acting, and visual effects that make the birds look like flapping GIFs, the film's earnest approach to its absurd plot is what makes it a must-watch for any so bad it's good movie lover.
I think they're eagles. What's going on?
This is Birdemic. Don't you fucking forget. Don't you fucking forget.
Directed by the infamous Ed Wood, Plan 9 from Outer Space is a classic in the realm of bad cinema. The movie revolves around aliens attempting to stop humanity from creating a doomsday weapon that could destroy the entire universe. Their method? Resurrecting the Earth's dead to form an army. Despite the plot holes large enough to pilot a UFO through and production values that might have been outclassed by a high school drama club, the film's earnestness, paired with the stilted dialogue and hammy performances, create an unforgettable cocktail of cinematic mishaps that you can't help but adore.
We've had contact with radio.
M. Night Shyamalan's The Happening is a peculiar film. Its premise is intriguing. An unknown airborne toxin causing people to take their own lives. This could have been a chilling horror or a tense thriller, but instead, we got something entirely different. We're treated to Mark Wahlberg talking to a plastic plant and people running from the wind. Yes, the wind. The wooden dialogue, the awkward performances, and the inexplicable plot decisions create a film that's bafflingly bad but compelling in a strange, surreal way.
Authorities are now feeling that a terrorist group being responsible is becoming less and less likely.
She says everyone's dead outside.
The Snowman is a crime thriller that probably sounded excellent on paper. Based on the successful novel and with a star-studded cast, this film had a lot of potential. Unfortunately, it's also a masterclass in how not to execute a plot. The story follows Detective Harry Hole, played by Michael Fassbender, as he investigates a serial killer who leaves snowmen at his murder scenes. However, the plot is so convoluted, filled with red herrings and unresolved subplots, that it's hard to follow. The performances are strange, and the editing is choppy, leading to a lot of unintentional humor. Despite all this, the film's serious approach to its absurdity is what makes it so watchable and entertaining in a way that it probably didn't intend to be.
He's been watching us the whole time. Building snowmen, cutting things up into little pieces. He's taunting us.
The musical Cats was a Broadway and West End hit, but its cinematic adaptation ended up in the realm of so bad it's good. With a star-studded cast including Judi Dench, Ian McKellen, and Taylor Swift, the film aimed to bring the theatrical spectacle to the big screen. Instead, what we got were CGI-furred humans, or are they cat-bodied humans, prancing around in a nightmare fuel spectacle that's hard to look away from. The movie attempts to weave a plot from the original musical's loose narrative, which leads to a lot of bizarre scenes and disjointed musical numbers. Still, everyone should watch Cats at least once, if only just to brag about how you've actually managed to sit through it.
Are you going to try for a different life?
A new day has begun.
If there was ever a poster child for movies that are so bad they become brilliant, it might just be Troll 2. First off, it's worth mentioning that there are no trolls in this film, only goblins. The story follows a family who vacations in a town called Nilbog, and yes, that's goblin spelled backward. The plot includes the town's vegetarians turned goblins who try to feed the family a strange green substance that will turn them into plants, which are, of course, their food of choice. It's a chaotic riot of over-the-top acting, bizarre plot twists, and a corn-on-the-cob love scene. All these elements contribute to Troll 2 becoming a cult classic, unintentionally hilarious, and an endearing feast of bad cinema.
They're eating her! Then they're going to eat me!
The Bye-Bye Man is a horror film that somehow manages to turn its potentially terrifying premise into something laughably bad. The film follows 3 college students who move into an old house off campus and unwittingly unleash a supernatural entity known as the Bye-Bye Man. The rules for this entity are confusing, the scares are predictable, and the performances feel like they're from a daytime soap opera.
He's found us.
Who?
Don't think it, don't say it. The Bye-Bye Man.
And the more you think about him, the closer he gets.
Truth or Dare. This film takes the harmless game of truth or dare and attempts to turn it into a life-or-death nightmare. A group of friends on vacation in Mexico find themselves cursed by a deadly version of the game where if you refuse a dare or lie, you die. The plot, filled with strange rules and predictable twists, feels like a teen soap opera mashed with a horror film. The idea of people possessed by the game having a weird Snapchat filter-like grin plastered on their faces is more hilarious than terrifying. But it's these qualities, the bizarre plot and the campy execution, that make Truth or Dare an entertaining watch in a so bad it's good kind of way.
I know it sounds insane.
Just a little.
This fine young lady here dared me to show you my business.
Tell the truth or you die. Do the dare or you die.